America celebrates another centenary on Monday, 100 years on from the birth of Marilyn Monroe. Born Norma Jean Mortensen in Los Angeles in 1926, Monroe became one of the first screen icons of the post-war period, revolutionising public perceptions of femininity. She was the star of a string of classic films, including Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, Some Like It Hot, The 7-Year Itch and The Misfits, in a short-lived career before her death of a barbiturate overdose in 1962. And for more on this centenary of Marilyn's birth, I can welcome Michelle Morgan, author of The 7-Year Itch and The Birth of an Unlikely Feminist. Good morning, Michelle, and thank you very much for joining us. Can I start by asking you, like many icons who died young, Marilyn seems to be forever youthful. But do you think that the icon herself is still fresh and contemporary 100 years on from her birth?
I think she is. A lot of people say that if you picked Marilyn up from 1954 or whatever and you popped her into 2026, she would just be as relevant now as she was then. And I honestly believe that to be true. She was quite modern thinking in many ways, and you know, she was strong and brave and everything that we're supposed to be in this age. So yeah, I think that she's still completely relevant.
Now, Marilyn is seen as a figure of absolute glamour, but the social aspect of her life is often overlooked, or maybe sometimes overlooked. She was born poor and raised largely in orphanages, and suffered some rather grim abuse as a child and as a young woman. Can Marilyn be thought of as a working class heroine?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she was raised as an orphan and as a waif. She wasn't an orphan, but she was raised that way. And, you know, she was in and out of foster homes. She was in and out of an orphanage. So, you know, she gives everybody hope that wherever you come from, you can grow up and become whatever you want to be, because that's exactly what she did.
Now, Marilyn's screen image was one of the ditzy blonde, but those that knew her in real life say that she was a highly intelligent woman with intellectual interests that belied that image. Was she in some way a prisoner of her own screen image that was so successful?
She was, in a way, because people underestimated her. People thought that she was the dumb blonde that she played on screen. And actually, many of the characters that she played weren't dumb blondes at all. So yes, the studio tried to pigeonhole her into that whole being a dumb blonde thing, and she sort of rebelled against that quite magnificently, and to the point where she was suspended a couple of times because she wouldn't play any more dumb blonde roles. So yes, she was sort of put in this little box, but she fought very, very hard to get out of it. And if you read about Marilyn's life and you scratch the surface, then you can see that she was not in any way, shape or form a dumb blonde. She was very intelligent. She loved to read. She liked lots of different literature. She always fought to be taken seriously. And it's just a shame that some people can't see her that way.
Now, Marilyn was one of the early actors to attend Lee Strasberg's Actors Studio, and Strasberg in particular praised her for her diligence and seriousness. She was also an accomplished comic actor who we know very well from her films. Do you think her acting might have become greater still had she lived?
Oh, I definitely think that. I mean, the last movie that she completed was The Misfits, and she was phenomenal in that. And why she was never nominated for an Academy Award for that, I'll never know. I think that she would have gone on and on. She was always striving to be better. She was always learning. She was always going to acting class and, you know, trying to be much more than she had been in the past artistically. And I just think that she would have been even better as years gone by. And I also think that she may have stepped behind the camera as well. You know, she was quite interested in what happened as a producer and as a director. And I think that she would have maybe gone in that direction.
Now, Marilyn is one of the most recognisable 20th century icons who, you know, even a lot of people who've never seen her films would be able to pick her out if they saw a picture of her. Most people really know the phenomenon better than the actor and the films that she made. Do you think her films deserve greater recognition, and is there any one in particular that you think is overlooked?
Oh, definitely. I think, if I speak to many different people, and the first thing they'll say to me is, she was a dumb blonde and all the rest of it. But I go, well, did you actually ever watch her films? And sometimes I get, oh no, I've never watched a Marilyn film. But I think that if people did watch them, they would see that, first of all, how funny she was, and how talented she was. I just think that yes, a lot of them are underestimated. For me, my favorite movie sort of changes all the time, but I do have a special place in my heart for The Prince and the Showgirl, because it was made in England, and I've always been fascinated in the whole England aspect of her life. And I just love that film. I think that she, in contrast to Laurence Olivier, who played his part, he played his part really well as well. But I think that she just shone so much that she kind of blew him off the screen. And
you said earlier that you thought that Marilyn potentially could have become a director and a producer had she lived longer. In what way do you think her legacy lives on among actresses today? What do they owe to her?
Well, I think that she opened up a pathway to be who you want to be, but to inspire people to continue to learn, to continue to grow. I think that she did do a lot of fighting for people back in the 1950s, that had she not done that, had she not sort of broken down the barriers, had she not walked out on her contract and all that kind of thing, then perhaps the whole studio contract player would still be going ahead now, and so there would be less freedom, I think, for actresses in general. And so I think that she opened up a lot of doors. She probably didn't realize that she was doing that at the time, but I certainly think that that's what has happened in recent years.
Thank you very much for that. Michelle Morgan, author of, among other books, on Marilyn Monroe, The 7-Year Itch and the Birth of an Unlikely Feminist.